as always, do what you can, listen to your body. Today shouldn't be too crazy, but we still want to make sure that we're checking in with ourselves and being responsible for our own bodies, our own modifications. If you need them at home, please don't do anything that you are not supposed to be doing, especially since I cannot see you or correct you. Up we go. We're going to stand on the mat. Feet in parallel, fist width apart. I have a Cadillac today instead of a mat table. We're mixing it up. We're going to take an inhale. On your exhale, I want you to draw your belly button in towards your spine and hold it there. Make sure those feet are fist width apart between those big toes, so that's our hip width distance right under those sits bones. Inhale, breathe into your rib cage. And exhale, draw the shoulder blades back just a little bit more. One more time. Inhale. Exhale, reach those elbows a little straighter. Lift a little taller through the crown of the head, and now we're going to inhale one more time. Exhale, bring your chin towards your neck like you're holding a little cutie orange. And then you're going to round through the thoracic spine, drawing your ribs in. And then bend your knees as you fold at the lumbar spine. So we're folding at that low back. And then hinge the rest of the way down, fingertips towards the floor. And it's important to remember that this is not for the hamstring stretch. We're trying to keep the range small. We're really drawing up into those abdominals, and we're pushing up into the low back stretch. Nice big inhale. Exhale, lift your bottom ribs up to the ceiling. Draw the sits bones down. And then straighten the legs and stack the spine. Open the chest. Big inhale. Exhale, roll down from the crown of the head and the upper back. And now the mid back and the low back, bending those knees. Keep those hands right under the shoulders as you fold forward. Pull the shoulder blades back to your spine. Rest your head so that we're looking through those thighs. Inhale. And exhale, lift the bottom of your ribs up to the ceiling. Draw the sits bones down, restacking that spine. Opening the chest one more time. Inhale. Exhale, roll down. Bend those knees. Rounding through that lumbar spine, fingertips to the floor. Nice big inhale. Exhale, lift the bottom ribs up to the ceiling. Draw the sits bones down. Restack that spine, one vertebra at a time. And from here, we're going to take one leg back behind you. You're going to come down to your knee and then onto your sits bone. And we're going to sit about front half of the mat. Hands behind the thighs, knees bent, feet flat. We're going to pull up tall. And we're going to lift yourself up onto your sits bones more. We're going to inhale. Exhale. Round the spine. Pull the belly button in and then pull the chest forward. So we're looking over those knees. And then we're going to lengthen and lift back up. And I want you to use your hands to help you lift onto those sits bones since we're still warming up. Exhale. Scoop the abs in and then round the spine. And then lift the spine back up. Restacking the spine, trying to get upright on those sits bones. Shoulders back. One more. Exhale, round. Using those inner thighs. And lift back up. One more time. Opening the chest. We're going to send the arms forward now. You're going to round the spine forward. Pull those abs into your spine. Hold. From here, we're going to slowly roll back just towards the tailbone, keeping your C curve, and then towards the sacral bone. And you can stop whenever you feel like you should stop for today. Going all the way to the lumbar spine if you're feeling pretty warmed up. Exhale, coming forward. Just do what feels best for your spine at this moment. If you feel like you need a little more time to warm up before you roll back that far, that's fine. Lift your fingertips to the ceiling. Open the knees. open the arms and the chest. Scoop the arms and the legs back in and roll back. Taking it only as far as you feel comfortable taking it right now. Exhale, peel back up. Keep the collarbones flat. The pecs have nothing to do with that mini roll up. Lengthen, send the arms up, the knees open to make room for that spine. We open the arms and we scoop back in. And again, we take it back. Exhale. Lifting those arms, opening the knees. Circling those arms around and then scooping the arms and legs back in. Now this time we're going to roll down. We're going to take the feet with us as we roll, roll, roll. Take the feet in. You want to be at a nice steep angle of the knees. Lower the head and chest. Place the arms down, resting your head, opening that chest. We're going to find a neutral position with the spine. You want the pubic bone and the hip bones level with each other, and you can check by putting the heels of your hands on the hip bones and bringing the fingertips and the thumbs together, a little triangle shape like this, and just place it on top of the pelvis. And we should see that the fingertips and the thumbs are the same height. We're going to draw the belly button in, away from those thumbs, and then try to pull your low back down, not by pushing with your legs, but by drawing those abdominals in and flattening the low back, trying to also pull the belly button away from the thumbs. So now your fingertips should be tilting up slightly, and then we're going to come back to neutral. And then drop the pubic bone back down. Exhale. Think of the belly button drawing away first, and then the spine pulling down, down, down into that imprint, not using the legs. And then release, pushing the pubic bone back down to neutral. So when you are in neutral, you should feel there's a little space underneath your low back. Exhale. Belly button to spine, spine to mat, making sure we're not forcing the back into an imprint with the leg muscles. You want to draw into the imprint with your abs, and then release and push the pubic bone back down. Good. Take the arms by your sides. We're going to keep that same muscle activation. Take your inhale. Exhale, pull the belly button into your spine, pressing that low back down, down, down only with the abdominals. And now you're going to dig into your heels, and we're going to peel the sits bones up towards the backs of the knees. I want you to tuck the pelvis as much as you can before you feel your low back lift. And then lift one vertebra at a time as you start to peel the spine up into your pelvic curl. Elongating, lifting the chest bone, putting the weight to the inside of the feet. Make sure in this pelvic curl that you're not going into back extension. You're pushing into your hip extension and then peeling back down. Nice and slow. Take your time. So the goal is not to lift your back up as high as possible. It's to really lift that pubic bone up to the ceiling. Inhale. Exhale, belly button first, and then spine to the mat. Again, we're not trying to move the pelvis. It might tilt towards you, but you're really trying to imprint the lumbar spine is what we're doing. We're trying to push the bones of the low back into the mat. And now push your heels into the mat and peel the pelvis up from the sits bones, the sacral bone, the lumbar spine, and then going up to the thoracic spine, but pushing up into those hips first, and then don't lift your ribs to the ceiling. Lift your chest bone, leave the ribs pulling down and the hip bones drawing towards those ribs like you've got little suspenders on. Put more weight on the inside of those feet and roll back down. Nice and slow. Take your time. With care. If this is bothering your knee joints, you may be a little bit too bent in the knees. Feel free to take your feet a little further away from you if you need to. And exhale, pull those abs in. Imprint. And then peel the spine up. We're pushing the sits bones to the ceiling. And pulling that belly button down, thinking of the hip bones and the ribs drawing towards each other while you open the chest, press into those arms. Use the inner thighs. And exhale, peel back down. And we do want those knees about over the ankles or somewhere around that zone. Release the glutes, rock back to neutral. If your feet are too far away from you, you're going to struggle to get that hamstring activation. Exhale. Try to notice if when you peel the pelvis up, do you also shift backwards onto your neck? We don't want that. We want to shift the knees forward over the toes to prevent us from pushing backwards. That means you're using your quads rather than pulling forward and using your hamstrings, which is what we want. Exhale, peel back down. Nice and slow. Articulating one vertebra at a time. Release the glutes, holding the abs, and then release the pelvis with those abdominals. Let's do one more. Inhale. Exhale, scoop those abs into your imprint. Peeling the spine up, really get that lumbar spine down, and then peel it up. Keeping the weight to the inside of those feet so you feel the inner thighs. Keeping the abdominals in, the hips active. Exhale, peel back down. Nice and slow. Release the glutes. Rock back to your neutral pelvis. And now keep that neutral pelvis. Take your arms up to the ceiling, palms in towards each other. We're going to find that scapular stability first. I want you to glide your shoulder blades towards the ceiling. The fingertips will reach. It'll appear that your arms get longer. And now draw the shoulder blades back until you feel the shoulder blades touch the mat. And then glide back up. Elongating those arms, gliding the shoulder blades forward. And then gliding the shoulder blades back. Again, we glide, feeling that muscle that's underneath that armpit that's pushing your arms forward, that serratus anterior, it's a scapular stabilizer. And then try to keep that activation, just slowly pull the shoulder blades back with your trapezius, with the muscles that draw those shoulder blades together. And then again, now start pushing with that serratus anterior. So it's not just lifting and lowering and lifting and lowering with the pecs. I want you to use underneath the arm and then keep that active. Just pull the shoulder blades back. So we're really challenging the muscles around and underneath the scapula. And we're reaching forward one last time. Keep your neck relaxed. And then pull those shoulder blades back into place. Open the arms into a T position. And keep the arms here, keep the scapula stabilized. If you're on a raised surface like I am, or you are in a tight space, feel free to hold the sides of the table, or you can do a goal post so that you're not bumping into the things next to you. We're gonna take your legs to tabletop, one leg at a time. You want the knee over the hip, the shin parallel to the ground. We're then going to draw the abdominals into an imprint, and when you do, you're gonna notice the legs are gonna tilt towards you a little bit, but don't pull the legs in, just tilt into that imprint and allow the legs to draw in slightly. Now from here, we're gonna go into spine twist supine. Inhale as you keep the knees squeezed and up to the ceiling, and we're gonna roll away from me, off the middle of that sacral bone to the side, and you should feel the weight of those legs in those obliques. Keeping your opposite shoulder blade down, and exhale, pull through that imprint back to center. And again, we inhale as we twist. And again, I'm not moving my knees. I'm keeping my legs still. I'm actually thinking of pointing my legs to the ceiling to stop them from going to the side. And we exhale back to center. And inhale. Put the weight on the outside of that sacral bone and on the opposite shoulder blade. And exhale. Super active in those obliques, really feeling the weight of the legs on that hip and in those obliques. And again, we inhale, twist. Taking it as far as you can without lifting your opposite shoulder blade, and exhale, pull back to center, thinking of wringing out your spine the same way you would wring out a towel. So I'm twisting my spine, rolling my pelvis to one side, pushing your opposite shoulder blade down the other side, and pull back in. And feel free to really take this into as big of a range as you can maintain the correct muscle engagement. So if you start going into your back and you lose your abdominals, you've gone too far. Keep finding that imprint and keep thinking about that imprint sensation as you twist. Don't lose it. Back to center. We're going to place one foot down and the other foot down, coming back to our neutral pelvis, and then interlace your fingers together. Webbing to webbing. We always go all the way tight with those hands. You're going to place the hands behind the head. Thumbs are with the family. And I want you to think of the elbows as not resting, but the shoulders are drawing down away from the ears and then forward to the ceiling slightly, almost like you're trying to pull your arms apart. So you have a nice sturdy basket shape with these arms. We're going to inhale. On your exhale, I want you to lift your chest. Leave your head in your hands. And then look at your knees. Drop that pubic bone down if you lifted it. Inhale, stay. Exhale, lower back down. Nice and slow. Take your time. Again, inhale. Exhale, lift your chest. Don't lead with your head. Leave your head weight in your arms. Pause here. Let's grab the thighs. And we're going to see if we have a little bit more range. You're going to pull yourself up. Give yourself a little boost. The goal is to keep the pelvis neutral, but we are still in that imprint, so you feel that lumbar spine is pushing into the mat. Now hold this. Take your fingertips to the knees. And now up to the ceiling. Interlace the fingers together, hands behind the head. Don't drop. And then lower your head and chest back down. And again, inhale. Exhale. Eyes on the knees. And grab those legs. Give yourself a boost. Can we get higher? Probably. Take the hands to the knees, to the ceiling, behind the head. Rest your head weight back in your hands and then lower back down. And every time you come back down, I want you to find that neutral again, because the pelvis is not tucking or arching. It's staying completely still. But the spine is flexing. So you're going to feel that low back round. This time we just hold. Inhale. Exhale, lower back down. And again, inhale. Exhale, lift the chest. Up higher, we inhale, stay. Exhale into chest lift with rotation. Let's go away from me. Looking across, just outside your thigh. Reach your inside arm forward. So you have the fingertips to the outside of the knee. Now I want you to lift and look at your hand and lift towards it. Hold that. Take your hand back behind the head. Come back to center. And then rotate towards me. Same thing. We reach to the outside of the hand. Look, point your nose towards your hand and lift towards your hand. That's your chest lift with rotation. Take your hand back and then come back to center. And again, we rotate. This time we just stay and come right back to center. No arms. Exhale, we rotate. And back to center. And again, we exhale, rotate, coming up as high as you can, and open those elbows. Exhale, rotate. You don't want to put on those horse blinders. Keep those elbows open. Exhale, rotate. One more time to each side. Back to center. And rotate. And back to center. Grab behind your thighs. Give yourself a little boost. Come up as high as you can. Hopefully you're already there. And then hold. Take the fingertips to the knees, to the ceiling. Behind you, reach those hands back and lower the head and chest. Back down, very good. Circle those arms around to your sides. Neutral pelvis. Ribs are softening down. And I mean not to splay the ribs to the ceiling. I want you to think less about forcing your ribs down with your abdominals and more about relaxing your back extensors right here and softening that back down. You're going to take your right leg up into a tabletop with your abdominals right here already before it's even all the way up. I want you to feel those abs lifting that leg. 90 degrees at the knee joint. Bottom of the sacral bone is down. You're going to pull that leg in just 10 degrees beyond your tabletop. Inhale, lower the thigh down, down, down. Tap and then pull with your abs, not so much hip flexor. And inhale, lower. Tap and exhale, feel the work. It should look different as well. The texture of the exercise should be a little bit more like pulling that leg through molasses. Inhale, lower. And exhale. Pull with your abs, not too hip flexor dominant. Last one. Inhale, lower. And exhale. Feel the weight of that leg. And then place the foot down. Toe ball heel. And then take your second leg up. Feel the weight of that leg. Don't tilt the pelvis. And draw that leg in. We want the knee at a 90-degree bend. The leg is just slightly deeper than your tabletop. My sits bones are down. I'm not imprinted. And I'm going to lower that thigh down, down, tap the floor, and exhale, lift up. Inhale down. As your leg comes up, I want you to think of sinking the bottom of that sacral bone down, 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 so that you feel that hip flexor. If you don't, you will accidentally rock backwards. We don't want to cheat ourselves of that connection to that hip flexor. And exhale. One more time. Inhale. Exhale. Pull. Back in and stay. From here, we're going to switch to leg changes. You're going to pick up the second leg and switch your legs simultaneously. And simultaneously. Think of brushing the legs past each other. Imagine there's a pane of glass between those two legs and you're brushing. And you're brushing. Still feeling the weight of those legs. Still maintaining 90 degrees at the knee joint on both legs. Last one, right leg comes up. Your left leg comes up and we go to tabletop. Take the arms up, palms to the ceiling, overhead. Keep the ribs down. You want to avoid splaying the ribs like so. You want to keep those mid-back down. Arms are strong. We're going to go into 100 prep. You're going to take an inhale. You're going to exhale, lift with your abs and pull the arms down. And then take those arms up. We're going to go all the way to the ceiling and then reach back with the head and chest. And again, we go abs first. Initiate with your abs and then the arms come down. And then take those arms up all the way and reach back. So we're challenging those abdominals. Exhale. Chest lift and then arms. And then take those arms up to the ceiling and reach back and reset. And again, we go abs and arms. And take those arms up to the ceiling and reach back. 2 more times. And take those arms up all the way up 90 degrees to the floor and back. 1 more time. And lift those arms up and reach back. Hold. We're going to circle the arms around by your sides. You're going to place the leg closest to me to the floor. and then glide it out straight. The leg that's still in tabletop is going to extend to the ceiling, and we'll go ahead and we'll be kind today and grab the back of that leg. You're gonna pull it in closer to you. Try to keep the hip down on this side, don't hike it up. And we're gonna flex that foot, dorsiflex towards you, and then plantar flex that foot away. And dorsiflex and plantar flex. I want that bottom leg nice and parallel, middle of the heel bone on the mat table. And then flex that foot and stay. Set your knee joint right above your hip. Hips are nice and square. And we're gonna go into our leg circles. You're gonna cross the midline and go down and up, back to the start position. Exhale and circle. And we inhale and we exhale. Inhale and exhale and inhale. And no movement of the hips whatsoever. Inhale and exhale. Pause at the top. Reverse your circles. We go out and a down and up the midline. Exhale and inhale and exhale. Keeping the pelvis nice and steady. The most important thing is the hips don't move. And a 2 and a 1 and pause. Point the foot. Bend your knee. We're going to glide that leg out straight, reaching that leg. Notice how much longer it feels than the other leg. And now take the leg closest to me, to your tabletop. Extend that leg to the ceiling, and we'll grab that thigh, pull it in a little deeper, dorsiflex and plantar flex. Toes towards you, toes to the ceiling. You can pull that leg in as close as you need to get that nice hamstring stretch. And we're gonna flex and keep it there. Set your knee right over the hip, even if your knee is bent. We're gonna cross the midline. Inhale, circle, cross the midline. Exhale, circle. And again, no movement in the hips. This stays completely steady. This is in the abdominal block because it's all about the stability. Inhale and exhale. Pause at the top. Reverse your circles. Inhale around and up. Exhale around and up. Don't let that hip drop. On the moving side. Inhale and exhale. And inhale and exhale. Last 2 and 1 and pause. Point your foot. Bend your knee. Glide your leg out straight. Both legs feeling the same length again. Reach them nice and long. Reach the fingertips up. Overhead, palms facing each other. Soften those ribs down. We're gonna go into our roll up. Inhale as you take the arms up to 90 degrees. Lift the head and chest and lower your arms parallel to the ground. Exhale. Peel the rest of the way up. Nice and slow. Hold that C curve. So we're going to pause with our eyes over the knees and our shoulders back and down. You want a nice deep C curve. Think of pulling up like you're doing the Heimlich maneuver. Shoulders back. Your head is looking down but pulling up away from those legs so that you're not dropping your head between the arms. On your exhale, keep that C curve and pull back with your abdominals into that flexion. Keep your arms parallel to the ground. Hinging back down with the hip joints. We place the low back down. We lift the arms, lower the head and chest, and reach back. And don't flare those ribs up to the ceiling. Inhale into your chest lift. Exhale, continue. If you need to bend your knees here, you can in order to get that nice timing. Exhale, roll down. If I can figure out which direction we're going. And reach those arms up and back. Inhale into your chest lift. Exhale, continue. Keep holding that little cutie with your chin. And exhale, roll back. Every time you think about if that head is in alignment, think of that chin, pulling back and holding that little cutie. Lift the arms, lower the head and chest, and reach back. Let's do 2 more. Inhale, arms, head and chest, arms. Peel the spine up, folding, bending the knees if necessary, correcting the head and neck. Deep C curve, eyes all the way over those knees. Exhale, roll back. Shoulder blades back. Arms are still parallel to the ground. Arms up and back. Overhead, let's do 1 more. Exhale, peel it up. Over. From here, we're going to articulate the spine upright. Back to the sits bones. Lift. Flex and separate those feet. Just about your shoulder width apart within your mat. Lifting up onto those sits bones, you don't want to start back here. So if you need to get this pelvis up, you can bend the knees so you're up on those sits bones, because that's much more important than the legs being straight. But if you can straighten the legs, keep them straight. We're going to inhale. Exhale into your spine stretch. I want you to think of articulating your spine away from an invisible wall, 1 vertebra at a time, just the same as your pelvic curl, but the other way. Reaching. If you've got the extra range in the hamstrings, you can rock forward to the point where we're almost trying to stick the sits bones out behind us, and then come back onto the top of the sits bones and roll back up. Only do that little extra rock if you have the extra hamstring flexibility. Inhale. Exhale, we roll down. And maybe we're only going to here today. If you're tight in the hamstrings, this is where your range stops. Otherwise, we continue and we hinge. Exhale, roll back up, nice and slow. Take your time restacking that spine. Hold your little cutie with your chin. Inhale. Exhale, peeling down, nice and slow. Once your head goes, don't let it continue. Your neck is done. And then through the rest of the spine. Hinging forward. Inhale. Exhale. Peel it up. Restack that spine. From here, we're going to squeeze those legs together. Point those feet. You're going to bend the knees in. Grab your ankles. I want you to pull your feet as close to you as you can. Shoulders back. Eyes on the knees. Balancing on those sits bones. My arms are pulling into my legs. My legs are pushing into my hands. I'm active. I'm going to tuck my pelvis. I'm going to try to scoop into a deeper posterior tilt and then go into roll like a ball. And stopping on my sits bones. We inhale to scoop deeper and roll back. Coming back upright. Make sure we don't go to the head. We only roll to our shoulder blades. Remember, round things roll. So the deeper you can get into your lumbar flexion before you roll backwards, the more successful you will be. So take your time setting that up and scooping deeper, roll back and upright. And take your time, set that up, scoop it deeper so that you roll rather than hitting that speed bump. And 2 more. And last one. We go back. Oh, this feels so good today. I just want to do a million more, but I won't. We're going to glide the feet back out straight. Flex the feet. Point the palms of the hands up. And I want you to draw those arms open. Pause here. Really feel the shoulder blades active. Get upright on those sits bones. Again, if you need to bend your knees to get upright, then you can. And we're going to go into spine twist. You're going to rotate away from me and pulse back to center. Rotate towards me and pulse back to center. Use your exhale to help you pulse deeper. So go to your full range of rotation and then go for a little bit more. Keep those feet flexed and squeeze together, and don't let those feet shift like this. You want to see no shifting back and forth. Those ankles are glued together. No movement. Exhale, exhale, center. Keeping your chin in line with the middle of the chest. Don't look to the side. Last one. Pause here. Separate those feet. Turn the palms of the hands forward. We're gonna go into saw. You're gonna rotate away from me. Hinge forward, make that mountain shape. Reach to the outside of your foot with your front hand. Your back hand is the same height. We're gonna lengthen and lift into your L shape. Take the back arm forward. Open the top arm to your T position. Come back to center. Rotate to the other side and hinge. Lengthen and lift up, L shape, T shape, and center. Try to bias more towards a flat back as you hinge forward. So we're trying not to just collapse. You want to really lengthen as much as you can. And then come back up, L shape, T shape, center. Inhale. Lengthen and lift, L shape, T shape, center. And again, one more. Lengthen and lift, up, open, and center. Last one towards me. Inhale, lift, up, open, and center. Bring the legs together, point the feet, and round the arms, the spine forward with the arms forward. We're gonna roll back. This time you're gonna bend your knees. Place the feet down, fist width apart, arms down by your side. Ready for our pelvic curls again. Take an inhale. Exhale, draw the abdominals in, pressing that low back down, and we're gonna imprint the spine and then peel the body up. Feeling the difference in your body from those first pelvic curls? Now that the body's warmer, exhale, peel back down. Nice and slow. Take your time. Notice how much more willing the spine is to flow. Hopefully, inhale. Exhale, scoop those abs in. Pressing that lumbar spine down, and we're peeling up that spine. Push those heels in. Send the knees forward. Open the hips and lift the chest. Inhale. Exhale, peel back down, one vertebra at a time. We're gonna do one more. And then we're gonna go into our shoulder bridge prep. Neutral spine every time. Last one, inhale. Exhale, scoop those abs in. Peeling the spine up one vertebra at a time, and we hold. We're gonna take your right leg up to tabletop. Don't move the pelvis. Inhale, lower the thigh bone. Tap, exhale, lift. 5 times. Inhale, tap, exhale, lift. And make sure this hip isn't shifting or dropping. You want to keep it nice and lifted in this position the whole time. One more. Place that foot down. Correct that pelvic curl position if you lost it. Take it up on the other side. And we inhale, lower. Tap, exhale, lift. And again, thinking of the ribs and the hip bones drawing towards each other. Exhale, lift. And exhale, lift. One more. Place the foot down. Articulate the spine one vertebra at a time. Back to your supine position. Knees bent, feet flat. Take your legs to tabletop, one leg at a time. Extend your legs to the ceiling to the best of your ability. If you need to stop with the knees bent for your range in your hamstrings, that's fine. We're gonna go into corkscrew. We're gonna roll to the side of the pelvis. Let's go away from me first. And then you're gonna lower those legs down and up to the other side. Slice back to center. Other way. Inhale. Exhale. And we're really channeling that spine twist supine. Think of that twist to the side and then down and up. As you go down, remember that we have to stabilize that spine. So we want to make sure we're going through neutral and that we're not arching that back. Inhale, twist. Down only as far as you can stabilize. Center and inhale. Let's do one more each side. Inhale. And center and inhale. And exhale, up and back. From here, we're gonna bend those knees. You're gonna take the hands up onto the shins. Pull yourself up nice and high. Drop the tailbone down so we don't tuck the pelvis. You don't want to be on your low back. You want the sacral bone drop down. Pull up even higher, higher, higher. Double leg stretch. You're going to send your arms and legs out straight. Don't lose your chest lift. Exhale. Slow back in. Inhale, reach out. Exhale. Holding that height. Inhale, reach. Exhale, circle. And again, reach. Exhale, circle. We're going to mix it up. Exhale, circle. Grab behind the legs and send them upright. We're going to go into single leg stretch or hamstring pull 2. 1, hamstring pull 1. We're going to pulse and switch. And pulse. My brain does not have blood in it at the moment. It's all in my abs. And pulse, and pulse, and pulse. And now hamstring pull 3. Rotate towards that top leg and towards your top leg. And pulse the top leg only, not the bottom leg, just the top. And pulse. Keeping your elbows wide. And left. Come back up to the center. Bend your knees, lower the head and chest. Place your feet down, one at a time. We're going to glide those legs out straight. Reach the arms overhead. Take a little stretch. And exhale, roll onto your side, facing me. You want your bottom arm up, palm to the ceiling. Rest your head on your arm. Your legs are in a nice straight line, belly button to spine. And we're taking the weight off your rib cage, just enough to put you in neutral. So you don't want to sink down and create this S shape through the body. You're trying to lift and give yourself some support from the abdominals. We're going to go into side lift. Lift your feet and then hover here. We're going to take an inhale. On your exhale, imprint your waist and lift those legs and then lower. And I want you to do that not with your back, but with your abdominals and down. You can think of this hip coming up the rib cage and shortening and then pushing away from the ribs. I think of a wave coming up onto the shore and then the tide pulling back out. And the tide pulls in and the tide pulls out. Exhale. And inhale. Keeping those legs together as one unit. And lower. Exhale, we scoop. And lower. And again, we scoop those abs. Keep your legs together. Make sure this hip isn't rocked forward or backwards. That's going to cause you to use the wrong muscle group. You want to have those hips stacked. And last one, squeeze. And lower. From here, you're going to bend your bottom leg to a 90-degree angle, sort of like a sideways tabletop, the knee in front of the hip, the shin parallel to you. You're going to lift your top leg, shake it out. I want it internally rotated. Ankle is floppy. The knee is a little bit bent, just a little bit soft. And we're going to go into our gluteal side lying series. I feel like it's been a few weeks. We're going to lift and lower. Just go from your hip height and up as high as you can without changing the pelvis. So you see that little space. You can look for the little light under my waist. You can see how my spine is not moving, right? There might not be a space here for everyone. Everyone's body is different, but you want to see that there's no sinking of the rib cage or changing of the pelvis. And then take that leg forward without moving the pelvis. Bring it up, down, and back. And you can take that leg pretty high. You just don't want to move your pelvis. Up and down and back. And you should see this sits bone stays down the whole time. If you want, you can reach and you can hold your sits bone, push your hip into your fingertips as that leg goes forward. So you kind of push into your hand to make sure that you don't tip forward towards you, because otherwise that waist wants to sink down. And up, down, and back. Last time, we're going to take it forward into forward with a drops. 2, 3, 4, 5, and inhale. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, and inhale. Really just hanging that ankle heavy. Inhale, keeping the pelvis nice and square. Exhale. And inhale, 2, 3, one more time. Exhale. And inhale, 2, 3, 4, and hold. Take that leg back. Switch your feet. So now your bottom leg's out straight. You're gonna reach and grab this ankle if you can, and just into that glute stretch. If you can't reach the ankle, that's fine. Just place your hand on the mat. We're gonna lift the waist, push this hip forward into that stretch. Lift your bottom leg. We're going into adductor. Lift. You're gonna squeeze that inner thigh. Lower it to a hover. Don't touch the ground. Exhale, squeeze the inner thigh and lower. And exhale. And lower. Really get as much range out of that leg as you can. And exhale. And lower. Pulling the belly button in. Pushing that leg back. You don't want to hike it forward and then kick to the ceiling. That's cheating. You want to push it back. Lift. Do it the hard way. And exhale. Last one, up and stay. And we're going to pulse. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Lift a little higher. Lower that leg down. Send your top leg out straight. We're going to come up onto our elbow. Fingertips behind the ears. You're going to stack your body. Take this shoulder, pull it back and forward, really in that active down and forward position. You're going to lift your top leg parallel to the ground, side kick. Flex the foot, take it forward, pulse, point, take it back. Don't move your pelvis. I know something has to give, so you're going to adapt by shifting your sternum slightly back, slightly forward so that you don't move the pelvis. Keep the shoulders steady underneath you. And back. Pulse, come back to center. Lower that leg. You're going to swing the legs around to the other side. Laying on your side, facing me. Back to our side lift. Take your top hand or your bottom hand pointed up. Belly button to spine, lifting the weight off of that rib cage and lifting those legs. Squeeze them together. We're going to take an inhale. Exhale. Scoop those abs in and pull that hip bone towards your ribs. And then lower it away. And you have to pull those abs into your spine. For some of us, might even feel like a C curve. And lower. It's because we're not used to pulling those ribs in. And you want to feel those obliques right on the top here. Exhale. If you're only feeling your back, that's either you're splaying the ribs forward or tilting the pelvis, or we're not quite in the right alignment with the hip over the hip, top hip over the bottom hip. So make sure you feel those obliques. Just rest that head. Feel the weight of your head on your arm. Last one, squeeze and lower. And now we're going to take the bottom leg forward. Bend that knee right in front of the hip, the shin parallel to the edge of the mat. We're going to internally rotate on this top leg. Shake it out. Kind of get it floppy. A little soft in that knee. Ankle is hanging. We just want dead weight on this leg. You're going to lift up and down, just to hip height. Try not to touch the ground, just to the hip. Up and down. Exhale, lift and lower. And we often do this with ankle weights. So you can just imagine you're wearing that ankle weight. If you think about it, sometimes it'll get heavier. And exhale, lift that leg. And pushing this top hip away from you. Don't let it come up towards you. This is going to be too easy. I can get my leg way up, right? You're really trying to push it away. And now take the leg forward and lift it, lower it, bring it back. Keeping this sits bone down so you're reaching away from your armpit as you go up and down so that this hip, otherwise if you don't think about it, it's just going to tilt like this. And you see how my sits bones aren't even anymore? So you got to keep this lift. Very hard to do. Feels like you're actively pushing your hip away from you when you take the leg forward. Up, down, and back. And forward. Up, down, and back. This time we're going into forward with drops. You're going to take it forward, and we drop. 2, 3, 4, 5, and inhale. Make sure this hip is directly over your bottom hip. If you see your knees are misaligned, you're going to align those knees. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, and inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, and exhale. And inhale, 2, 3, one more time. Exhale. And inhale, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Take that leg back. Switch your leg. So now the bottom leg is out straight. Grab that ankle. Place it down in front of you. In your glute stretch, pushing that knee away, lifting the waist, pushing this hip forward, getting it square. And again, if you can't reach, you can just put the foot wherever you can reach and place your hand down in front of you. We're going to lift that top leg, bottom leg, excuse me, lift your bottom leg and squeeze the inner thigh and lower. And squeeze the inner thigh and lower. Really reaching this bottom leg along. So this one's not floppy dead weight. This one's really active. Plantar flexed and straight and stretching out and lowering, but just to a hover. Exhale. And exhale. Again, lifting. Going for as much range as you can. Last one, up, and we pulse. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Hold, lift a little higher. Lower that leg down. Send your top leg out straight on top of the other leg. We're going to come up onto your elbow into side kick. Remember that shoulder blade is a big deal, this scapular stability. Think of that armpit pushing away. You got to get the elbow close enough to you so that your whole waist is lifted. There's enough room for a ball underneath your waist and the ground. Fingertips behind the ears. Lift your top leg. Flex and draw it forward. Pulse, point and draw back. Pulse, and we don't move the pelvis. We just let the torso shift slightly. So take the sternum back a bit and the sternum forward. Everybody get your elbow a little closer underneath you. A little closer. Yep, there you go. And back. Last one, forward, pulse, and back. Come back to center. Lower that leg. We're gonna slide back down to your side. You're gonna lower to your stomach. We're gonna line up with our forearms, belly button to spine. You're going to glide your arms to the side of your bodies. Palms in, arms straight. Legs are together in parallel. Belly button is pulled in to your spine. Pubic bone is pushing down. Shoulder blades are drawing back. And we're just going to move the shoulder blades first. Roll the shoulders forward to the floor. And now pull them back and draw them together. Really squeeze and then release and let the shoulders lower forward. So we're just doing a little prep. Pulling those shoulder blades back, 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 and really feeling the difference. Lower. And then pull those hands into the side of the body, the shoulder blades back, and hold them there. And now we lift through the crown of the head. And the chest bone pulls forward. We stay ribs down. Exhale, lower. Back down to the floor. And again, inhale, lift. Think of your head and neck lengthening away from you like a little turtle head coming out of its shell and back down. And again, we go crown of the head, upper back, mid back, keeping the ribs down so the belly button is in here and lower. Again, inhale. Chest bone forward and lower. Really focusing on the thoracic spine only, not the low back. And inhale. And exhale. Let's do 2 more. Pubic bone down, lift. And lower, and it's okay if it's not big. Last one, arms are long. We go through the crown of the head. Ribs are down, pubic bone is down, abs are in, and down, place your forearms underneath you. Elbows close to your waist, palms flat underneath the shoulders. You're gonna put the knees down, push off of your elbows to lift up and on to those sits bones. So we're gonna rest the crown of the forehead down on the mat. Take a big inhale. And exhale. And again, inhale. And exhale. Pulling those shoulders forward towards the floor. One more. And exhale. We're going to come up onto the hands and knees. We're going to go into our cat stretch. And just a reminder, this is not cat-cow, right? So we're doing cat stretch, which is really trying to be conservative about the movement, finding the path of most resistance. Everyone set the shoulders first. We're going to sink the chest bone down, just kind of sink into the scapula, and then push with that serratus anterior that we found on the mat when we were lying supine earlier, and then come back, pulling the shoulder blades back, and then push forward. And now on this one, I want you to keep the serratus anterior active, and now just pull the bottom of the shoulder blades towards each other just a little bit till you feel that little muscle activation behind you, that middle trapezius, and hold. We're going to draw the belly button in to the spine and push the spine, the lumbar spine up towards the ceiling into spinal flexion. And you want to feel like you're expanding that low back with the abdominals, and then come back to center. And now we inhale as we keep the pelvis still. We lengthen and we push the chest bone forward. We flex the upper back only. And I could go into lumbar extension here, but what we're trying to do is go the path of most resistance. That would be the way my spine wants to go. So we're challenging the range. We're going to go belly button to spine, pushing into that low back, not going excessive into the thoracic spine, just getting that lumbar flexion, and then coming back to center. So it's really active, belly button to spine, holding that core. Inhale as you lift into your thoracic extension, back to center. Again, exhale, belly button in, like a little string, lifting your lumbar spine to the ceiling. Pull in deeper with those abs. Come back to center. And again, we arch the upper back. Back to center. One more time, we're going to push up into that cat stretch. Deeper in the lumbar spine, deeper, 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 deeper. Back to center. Last time into that thoracic extension. Hold the abs so that the pelvis doesn't go. Come back to center. You're going to take your right foot out, toes tucked underneath you. Bias towards your posterior tilt. Take the hip bones towards you, the pubic bone down to the floor. Send your other foot back. And we're going to go into front support. You're going to glide your right knee in and your left knee in. And the right and the left. Just a little brush. Keeping the pelvis still. And right and left. One more. We go right and left and hold. Bend one knee and the other knee. You're going to take a seat. Swing the legs around in front of you. Legs out straight, parallel. Take your fingertips behind you. Separate them and place them down flat. Fingertips can go towards you or to the side, also legal. Remember, backwards is illegal and not good for your shoulder joint. Please don't do that. Arms are strong. Flex your abs and your back at the same time. You're going to push your heels down and lift the hips into your back support. And then hinge from the ball and socket joints only. So hip joints and shoulder joints. Exhale, push up into that hip range. And inhale down, just to a hover. Again, exhale, lift. And lower. And exhale, 2 more. Bias to that internal rotation so you don't let the legs roll out this way. You're really pushing to the inside of those heels. Lower the sits bones down. Take a big stretch forward. Nice stretch for the wrists too. You can curl them up into balls and push against the flexed feet. I like that stretch. And from here, you're gonna bend those knees. We're gonna end with my favorite exercise. I know every time it happens. You're gonna grab one ankle, lift it up. Shin parallel to the ground. Grab your second ankle. Shins parallel to the ground. Shoulders back. We're going to extend those legs up to the best of your hamstring flexibility. And we're gonna go into open leg rocker. You're gonna scoop the abdominals in. You're gonna roll back just to the upper back. Exhale. Coming back to those sits bones. And we roll back. All the way up. Gotta scoop forward a little bit. And we roll. Just to the upper back. Oops. It's the different table. Exhale. Make sure you use those abs and those legs to come up, rounding the spine. Up. Last one. We round. We roll back. We exhale up. Hold. Take the legs together. Lift the arms. Hold that teaser, lifting through the back of the sacral bone. Good. Bend the knees. Cross the legs. Place your hands down. Tuck those toes. You're going to push up into a nice big stretch. Feet parallel, fist width apart. Bending those knees. Relaxing the back. Roll up. Take the belly button in. Draw the sits bones down. Straighten the legs. Stack the spine. Open the chest. Inhale. Exhale, roll down from the crown of the head, the upper back, the mid back. Bend your knees, hinging forward, taking the fingertips down. Nice big inhale. Exhale, pull that belly button in, draw the ribs to the ceiling, draw the sits bones down, restacking that spine, keeping your weight biased forward to the toes, not at the top here, but at the bottom. We inhale. Hold your little cutie, and then round. Bending your knees as you go through your low back. Holding that cutie. Inhale. Exhale, lift your ribs, biasing forward to the toes so you feel the legs working to roll you up. Straighten the legs, stack the spine, open the chest. Grow an inch taller, drawing the ribs inside the body, drawing the shoulders back, the pelvic floor up. And you guys are done. Thank you. All righty.